more money into grassroots footy down there. Of course the Storm are a big part of that. And fortunately for them, they have got the commitment of News.
Well, David, we do appreciate your time. I'll give you the last word with David here, Gus.
Yeah, I just need a question. I want to know what we learned from this salary cap-wise, because this Melbourne Storm team, did not get created by going out and buying great players from other clubs and just to run the rule over their best players. Adam Blair had his first grade debut for the Storm at age 20. Cooper Cronk had his debut in first grade for the Storm at age 20. Ryan Hoffman had his debut in rugby league in first grade for the Storm at age 19. Greg Inglis debuted in first grade for the Storm at age 18. Billy Slater debuted for the Storm in first grade at age 19. Cameron Smith debuted for the Storm in 2002 at age 19. Brett White debuted in first grade for the Storm in 2005 at age 22. Israel Folau debuted for the Storm in first grade at age 17. Dallas Johnson debuted for the Storm in first grade at age 21. They didn't go out and buy these players with deep pockets or cheating deals. They went out and bought these people as kids. They developed them. They asked them to go and live in a foreign city away from their family and friends. They went down there with the charter of an adventure to make rugby league work in Melbourne. They went down there to a media that didn't want them, to a city that didn't want them. They played on a field that wasn't the right size. They played in front of parlous crowds week after week. They walked around the streets and no one knew them and no one cheered for them. We sent them down there, and Craig Bellamy and his troops built this team, and they built it to become competition champions, world champions. They became great test players and great origin players. And our game punishes the club for their success by now saying you can't come together. This team has evolved over time, and I don't care what these players earn for what they've done, because when you're the best in the world, you deserve a pay rise and you deserve to get good money. And the Melbourne Storm have got themselves in this position, and they've got the game in this position because they were great at what they did. And this is their punishment for being great.
Final word,
This is
David.
their punishment for wanting to keep that group of players together, knowing they've got a new stadium coming up. They're trying to sell the game in Melbourne. We want a team in Melbourne, and we're going to punish them in this regard. I think it's disgraceful, and I think it shows that you and your administration just don't understand this game at all.
Last word, David Gallop.
It's a basic fundamental of the competition that we're trying to even talent. Not every club can develop thousands of juniors like Penrith, excuse me, or a Brisbane. Some clubs have to buy players in. That's why we have a salary cap system. This club, yes, it developed players into Origin and Test players, but it kept them as well, and it went to great lengths, illegal lengths, to keep those players together. Not put them into
Don't
the
they deserve to?
Not put them into the system.
Don't they deserve to? Don't they deserve to keep them?
We need a distribution of talent in this competition to make it as great as it is, Phil. Some clubs develop juniors, some don't. If you talk to St George Illawarra...
If they didn't treat Greg Inglis to be in rugby or overseas, Brett Finch should be in rugby or overseas, where we've sent 100 players. We've sent 100 players to England because of this evening out of the talent. We're not evening out the talent, we're thinning it out. We're sending it to other codes and overseas.
But this is an argument over the cap, not necessarily...
I just want to know what we've learned from this. I want to know what you're going to do with the salary cap so this doesn't happen again.
All clubs did agree to the cap.
You've brought this on yourselves.
What I can tell you is we're going to continue to use a mechanism that endeavours to keep our clubs viable financially and distributes playing talent evenly to give us the fantastic competition that we've got. The last word I'd like to say, Vossi, is I hope fans of all clubs stick with their footy. We've already had great games since all of this happened on Thursday. We'll continue to have great games. I just ask the fans to keep their faith, keep supporting your team, no matter which team it is, because this is a great comp.
David, we appreciate your time this morning. I'm sure that Thursday brought you no joy whatsoever. In fact, it would have cut to the core. So we thank you for coming on the show today, Todd.